Hey guys, Gaming Off the Grid here. We are here at the one and only Captain Algebra's Game Room, and we've spent a lot of time this weekend with the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, so we thought it'd be fun to kind of take a little retrospective look back. What do we like about the console back when it came out, and what do we like about it now? Robert, what are we drinking today?
Today we're drinking Mint Condition by Flying Dog. It's a mint chocolate stout.
Alright, you know the drill. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon so you never miss an upload. And sit back, relax, pour yourself a beer if you care to, and let's take a look back at the Nintendo 64.
Hey, Sean from the Nerd Lair here, and you're watching Gaming Off the Grid. Now go away.
Alright fellas, here we go. We just had a long weekend together. We spent a lot more time playing the N64 than I guess I would have anticipated.
Yes,
us all
definitely.
getting together. It's hard to believe 24 years old this September will be the N64. It was September of 96 that this console came out. That'd be fun. Since we're all collectors, we all play retro stuff currently. To kind of go back to your initial feel when the 64 came out. Were you excited? Did you want it really bad? What did you think of it when it launched?
I didn't have it at first. My buddy next door had it. I was a PlayStation guy, and so we used to argue all the time on the way back, or on the way to school, on the way home from school, what console was better. Mm-hmm. And so it took a while for me to give in, but we'd go over and play it every once in a while. And I mean, back then, I was just blown away how it looked. Mm-hmm. You know, I thought, the 3D environments looked really cool. It was such a fun party game. That's, I think, is what it was mostly known for, just playing like Mario Kart and Smash.
I remember getting it when I was young and being super excited. I didn't have that many games, but I had Shadows of the Empire, Episode 1 Pod Racers. Man, Shadows of the Empire, I love that game. That game was so much fun.
Yeah, that's one of those games that you find every time you find someone's N64 collection somewhere. Mm-hmm. Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah, it was like a staple.
Yep.
And then obviously I had Mario 64, but I just remember growing up, I loved how it had so many different colors. Like, I loved how they did that, and like the cartridges were different colors, the controllers, the console itself. It was like a cool, like, collectible toy.
I think the marketing and stuff they did behind it was really good. I love how you brought up the PS1, because a lot of people talk about the console wars, and they are referring to the SNES versus the Genesis, the prior generation. But there really was that playground hustle going on, talking about the PlayStation and the N64, which one was better. And, well, the 64 has 64-bit graphics, and, the disc-based
PS1's only 32.
Yeah. So that was a great time, just in general. And I don't know why as kids we cared which one was better. It's like, they're both good video games.
Exactly.
Yeah, so looking back, it's like, who cares?
Yeah, and now as collectors we play, pretty much everything. But so what did you think of this bad boy when it launched? Do you remember having, because this is I would say a hot spot for the console, where a lot of people just automatically say they hate the controller for the N64. There's people recreating the N64 controller. Retrobit has some offerings, things like that.
The brawler and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not looking at it from today's perspective, but at the time when this came out, were you like, I hate this thing? Did you love this thing? What did you think of the 64 controller?
I thought it was weird. To be honest, like, when you first look at it, it's like, how do you hold this?
Yeah, there's 3 prongs.
Yep, I only got 2 hands. Like, how does this work?
Yeah.
But then once you start getting into it, I actually really like this controller. I don't know, it just feels comfortable in my hand. Maybe it's because I played it so much.
Yep.
I did feel like it was weird that you barely ever use the D-pad.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Growing up with NES and SNES, that's all we had. That's what we're always used to. And so now it's just going to the joystick. I mean, it makes sense for the 3D worlds, but I don't think it's as bad as some people make it out to be. But it was definitely weird when it first came out.
I liked it back then. I didn't necessarily put it on a perspective of did I like it more or less than the NES or Super Nintendo controller, but I did feel like I had more control with this, if this makes sense, in 3D worlds than I did on the PS1 prior to the DualShock coming out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so during that window of time, I was like, well, how do you not like this better? Like, I don't like playing Tomb Raider with a D-pad. Once the DualShock came out, that leveled the playing field. Robert, what did you think of it?
I was so young that I just didn't even think about it. I was just like, oh, this is the N64 controller. I played it. It was awesome. And I just didn't care. I was like, okay, controller. I enjoy it. It's cool how most games, you play with the middle and then the right. But then like Wrestlemania, for example, you play with the D-pad, and it's like weird having to
Yeah,
play
that's a
differently.
really weird shift.
You know?
It's one of those things I feel like it's taken more or gotten more grief, if you will, the longer it's been around. I didn't feel like it was such a hot topic back in the day, and now modern people getting into the N64 like, I hate this thing, you know. But I don't know. I think if you grew up with it, I think
You're just used to it.
like I
Yep.
would personally rather play with this than the N64 brawler.
Yep, same here.
And I think I'm probably in the minority. Maybe not us kids that grew up with it, but I think we probably are in the
And I
minority.
love too that it comes with rumble packs, and every time I put a rumble pack in, man, I feel cool.
Dude, that's the next thing.
You know? It's like putting a
I-
clip in.
I was gonna bring up is what'd you guys think like of the memory cards, the rumble packs, those type of things? Because that was new. You were no longer saving on your cartridge.
Rumble Pack was cool, you know, it just gave you that rumble feature, like when you're getting hit in a game or something. But at the same time, it made the controller really heavy.
Yeah,
you
dude.
know, and especially as a kid,
The
like
weight balance was not good.
right, if you're a really young kid playing it, like that could get really tough if you're playing for a while, you know. As for the memory cards, I thought that was annoying. I understood for like PS1.
Yep.
So, you know, it's a disc. You know, you need the memory card. This was still cartridges.
Yeah, why didn't they just? I mean, some games don't
Yep.
they save to the cartridge?
Some do.
But
Yeah.
some don't. It's like,
Yep.
make up your mind. Nintendo.
Yeah, I did like. The only thing I will say, I agree with you that I thought that was an annoying piece, but I did like for the first time ever. I remember being able to save a game on my memory card, and if my friend had the game, all I had to bring over to his house was the memory card
Yeah.
to play, you
That's
know, like
nice.
our Madden franchise or whatever we
Right.
were playing at the time. Let's fast forward present day. We're all big game collectors. We do this YouTube thing, right? How much time today, Cap, do you spend playing your N64?
Almost none.
Yeah.
Yep. It just basically sits there. I mean, I barely even collect for it these days. It's usually just like if I got buddies in town and stuff like, because it's still, I love it for a party
Yeah, it's
system.
a good 4-player party system.
Yep. You know, it's just those classic games that I grew up playing. And I don't know, it's just the single player games just don't grab my attention like other consoles
Yep.
do.
I think I would agree. Like, I love it. I grew up with it, but like we barely play it. I think we'll play it if we're going to play a wrestling game or like a blitz game. But there's a lot of games that are on different platforms that I'd kind of rather just play nowadays on like the PS1. I love it, but I don't play it, which sucks.
It's kind of pricey to collect for as well. You know, you put in perspective that neither one of us play it a ton. Plus, the cost of the thing is pretty substantial. I feel like to collect for a lot of the Mario titles and that are just, you know, they're just a little lofty for my taste.
Yeah.
Especially for how many there are. You know, like they're not a rare game
Yeah.
at all.
Well, I mean, some of them are because they were developed by Rare.
That's true. Thank you, Robert.
That's a great point
Yep.
from the era is Rare, man. They were just
They were on
killing
fire.
it.
yeah. So good back then.
If you were to tell somebody right now, or somebody asked you, hey, I want to get into the N64, what are some games they should pick up? And I'll start with like the THQ wrestling games. I think like WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy, WCW Revenge, fantastic games that still play very well. They're fun to bring out.
Oh, they are. They're really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I'd have to go with just like Super Smash Brothers, Mario Party, Mario Kart. You know those 4-player games that you can get
Yeah.
everyone involved in. Mario Kart and Smash are quick games.
Yep.
Yeah,
You
they
know?
are. And
In and out. Yep.
they're still really fun, even if you play the new ones. It's
Right.
like it's still fun going back. A lot of people talk about how some games in this era, especially on the 64, don't age well, don't look great. I know you don't like that, but like one of my go-to favorite N64 games is Banjo-Kazooie. And that game, compared to everything else on the console, still looks fantastic. It still plays fantastic. I think if you're going to get the N64, get Banjo-Kazooie. It's incredible.
Yeah, I think for the same reason you put Mario Kart in there, I think Diddy Kong Racing.
That's a
would be
fun
a good
yeah.
one.
I would have heard.
You know, and I don't know if you're into shooters at all. I kind of did like the dive into 3D shooters like Star Fox and the Star Wars games. I don't know if you guys were big fans of those.
Yeah, I
or
really
not.
like those. Yeah, and go along with like you with your Banjo-Kazooie, I really like Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah,
Ooh, yeah.
yeah, you beat that this
Yep.
last year, I think.
Yeah, I streamed it. Not everyone loves it, just because you know it's that 3D style.
And it's that collectathon.
Yep,
thing,
exactly, which I really like. Especially like back then, it wasn't like you had to collect a ton of things. You know, there's some games now that you spend 30 hours collecting
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and it just
It's
feels
like-
like pointless.
Yeah, it's like, what's the heck's the point?
So, if you were to explain the N64 in today's standards, like one sentence, how would you wrap up the 24-year life of the N64?
It's a great party system.
Yeah?
Wow, okay. It's
That's,
a weird, great party system.
I'm going to say you look great in the rear view mirror, but I'd like to leave you there.
Ooh,
ouch.
wow, that hurt my heart.
I like the games we mentioned. I've always felt like that console is better suited in my nostalgic memory than in my hands today. And it's weird because there's other consoles that are retro that aren't that way. Like I probably enjoy NES, SNES as much today as I did back in the day.
Yeah.
Even the
if not more.
Yeah, and right now, like I've been going crazy on like PS2, 360, you know, those type of things, and the N64, albeit the games we've mentioned today, I don't feel that way about. But as a whole, I just feel like, you know, maybe outside of that top 10, there's not really much of a reason to play it.
And there's so many games that are for it that are on other consoles. Like Tony Hawk, for example. I remember my cousin had Tony Hawk for the N64. Colored cartridge. It was awesome. I remember using the D-pad to grind and stuff. But I had it for the PS2. I felt like it feels better. It looks better.
Yep.
And I still go back and play it on the PS2. I don't play it on the N64, even though the color of the cartridge is still cool.
Yeah,
So
right.
And they've kind of helped bridge the gap. There are some peripherals you can get to make it look really good on your HD TVs. I would say if you're playing it like on a CRT, you probably don't want to go much bigger than a 20-inch TV because the image quality really degrades really bad beyond that point. But if you keep it tight, it still looks pretty darn good.
It looks pretty good. And I noticed, because we played a ton of it this weekend, after a while, my eyes actually started to hurt. I mean, we were playing it kind of on a bigger TV, and it was a little bit stretched, but it was like, ooh, this is getting rough. It was like hard to see. Like we were playing Mario Kart. It was hard to see where the road was. I was like, where am I?
Yeah.
And see, I had the opposite feeling of that. Like the more we played, the more I got used to it,
more
and
your
I wasn't
brain
having
went-
an issue.
And you were like, ooh, yeah, first place every time. Okay, he's bragging.
Your brain got rewired back to the
Yep.
64 thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, the beer, guys. We always wrap this up with a beer review. We picked up some great stuff here in Wisconsin while we've been hanging out with you this weekend.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Flying Dog Chocolate Mint Stout. Mint Chocolate Stout. It's called Mint Condition.
Condition.
What do you guys think? You guys are mint chocolate guys. I'm the third wheel here.
So I was really excited for this beer. My initial thought was just, mint chocolate ice cream.
Yes.
That's what I want here. But you always worry with some beers that have flavors, is it going to be just a subtle flavor or is it going to be a good flavor? And this one, kind of in the middle for me. You know, it's not as out, like it's not as intense as I want it to be, but it's not super subtle where I don't taste it at all.
Yeah, I feel like if you're not a fan of mints, like I know Wes, you don't like, but this would be good because it's a subtle mint. I was hoping for the same thing. I wanted a lot of mint. I love mint chocolate ice cream. I was hoping for that. I don't taste that much mint. It's so subtle, I can't taste it. This is still a really good stout. It's an easy drinker, but I just want more mint. I want that fresh taste, you know, and it's good. I had different expectations.
I mean, if that's what you want, you could go eat some toothpaste. But
I'm going to after this.
I think this beer, if I really am enjoying it, but like you guys mentioned, I'm not a mint chocolate chip fan. Going into this, I was kind of like, I might not like this. I don't like mint chocolate ice cream. I don't like the Andes mints. I like
Those are
most
so
people named
good.
Andy, but not the mints. I think it's a good beer. I'd put it on at like a 4 or 5, 4.5 maybe. I know Flying Dog. We've had some brews from them, that
And
have
they
been-
make really good beer.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think their porter is the Gonzo.
Yeah, the Gonzo.
Yeah, it's really good. So I enjoy this. I would buy this again as a non-mint chocolate chip fan because I just think it's just feathered in there nicely.
And I would buy this again too, now that I know what it tastes like, and not have these expectations. 'Cause it's still really, this is a really
is.
good
Yep.
stout, and like maybe I'll just put like a mint leaf on my cup next time I drink it or something, just to
There
give
you
that.
go. Yeah.
Well, guys, the Got G boys, we're walking with a limp. Captain took us to the cleaner this weekend on the N64.
Yeah, he cleaned our clock.
The School of Hard Knocks. Guys, any parting words about the N64? You know, next year it turns 25, so maybe we should circle back and just maybe celebrate
There
it
you go.
together.
That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
That would be fun. But anything else you want to say about the N64 that stands out to you?
I'd say just give it a chance. You know, don't completely write it off if you haven't played it before. You know, like I said, get some buddies together, do some couch co-op, and just see what we loved about this console back when it came out.
Yep.
I kind of want to go back, all this talk about it. I know we said we don't play it very much, but I kind of want to go back and like spend time and go back and beat some of those games that I loved back when I was a kid. Because I just haven't, you know?
Yeah.
I'm excited to play the N64 again in 2020
Yeah.
after this discussion.
Yeah, and after this weekend, we had a good time with it. But in the comment section below, let us know, what do you feel about the 24-year-old dog, the N64? What do you think? Do you still have fun with it today? Do you still enjoy collecting for it? And what are some of your favorite memories? Captain, we appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks for coming,
That
guys.
means a lot.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, it was for sure. We always appreciate you guys tuning in and subscribing to the channel. Keep gaming, keep drinking. We'll see you next time, right here on Gaming Off the Grid. Pre-event cheers, toastage.
I get a little mint.
Good.
I'm gonna screw this up a lot. We guys realize that. Not a professional.
We'll be fine. We mess it up all the time.
Unique New York.
Yep.
Unique New York.
Belching beaver.
It's the best one.
We've spent a lot of time this weekend with the N64.
Was that what I'm supposed
Yep.
to say?
He's like, so yeah.
All right, sorry, I froze.
Yep.
Okay.
Fine.
Now we're good.
And sit back, relax, pour yourself a beer if you care to, and let's travel back to where?
To the N64.
To the end.
Let's travel back
N64.
to the
To the
N64.
N64.
Let's take a look back.
Look back.
Yeah, geez. I'm like, where's the destination?
Yeah.
It's not good.
Destination, planet Earth.